Hi everybody, this is Ellen. I'm going to show you in this tutorial how to make the large granny square bracelet on one loom. Because this bracelet is on even pin bars, I know that excludes some looms. I'm working on something else that'll work for the other looms but is like this, but for this one I'm just going to do the setup I had before. This is the original on the 5 pin bars wide, and this is the alternate version, which I think is still just as great. I did change the banding a little bit to make it easier to do on one loom because it has some kind of difficult parts to it because the ends are technically squared across, although they're kind of round, but so that kind of presents a little challenge with extending it to make it longer. I think I figured that out fairly well, but it's a little more difficult, so that's why I kind of changed the banding a little bit, but I still think it looks good. I might tighten up my centers a little bit more than I did here, but I think a lot has to do with the bands that I used, because these are the same length. You can see that this one is just a little bit longer than this one, so I think that it just depends on your bands and how big it is too. So one of these, this is the original one, and I probably could have needed one more square to get it all the way around my wrist, but this one, whether it's because of banding or what, it closed a lot farther than the other one did, and I could probably just pull it a little tight and get it connected all the way around. So, but I mean, they have stretch to them too, so you could stretch them as well. But we can only make 3 of these on one loom. The only difference that is throughout the bracelet, because of the change in banding that I did when we connected, is that on the first part we're going to be looming the center pieces one way, and then on the second part they're going to be loomed the other way, but I don't think you can really notice from afar that it's different. So, but I am going to take apart my loom to do this because obviously this is something that can only be made on the rainbow loom right now, so you can take it apart with me. But I'll show you where to drop the bands and things like that. So we'll get started, and first, so I'll bring this over. First is the perimeter color, which is the black on this bracelet, and we're going to start here at the bottom. We're going to drop a band and then go to the left 2 like that, and then we're going to skip up, it's 3 pins basically, or 3 pin rows, and come up here to this 4th one here. So the granny square is in this little part, and then we'll start the next one right here. But then you'll do the same thing, drop a band, go over 2, same thing, skip 3 pin bars, drop a band, go over 2, and then the last one just goes on the end, but drop that band and then 2 over, like that. Then come back to the beginning, and we're just going to go all the way up this side of the loom with the perimeter color. So like that. And come back here to the beginning, and I'll kind of just work on the one square and repeat them in the other ones, instead of just doing one all at once and then going up and repeating it. We'll just repeat the steps in each one. So now we need to have a band from, I guess I call them corners, but it's not really corners. There'll be a band here, a band to the corner, a band in the middle, band to the corner, and then this is the middle again too. So you just want to set those on. Oops, missed one. Sorry. And in this bracelet it is the blue, if you can see that. So now let's repeat that in the other squares. And then the last one. That. There is a band that we could technically drop right here, but I'm kind of just skipping that for now because it's easy to pull up later, so you might wonder why I'm doing it, pulling that up later instead of dropping it now, but it doesn't matter, it's easy to do later. And then we want to do bands in the corner of the square. So just one here, and one here, and then repeat that in the other corner, like that, and do the same thing in the other squares. And on this bracelet it is the light orange, is what that is. Alright, now the squares are there, or half squares, kind of. Then what we're going to do is come back and lay, it's kind of a V pattern from the end of this rubber band, this pin right here. It's a V, and then we lay half the V on these pins here, because the other half will be off onto the other side of the bracelet. So, just kind of show you what the V I'm talking about. But like that. And then down here is the other V, but we're only going to put half of it down. And the same here. Like that. And you'll do that for the other squares. Like that. Come back to the beginning again. And now we're going to do the center here, which is the, I guess that color we just laid is the green, if that helps. It's kind of hidden in there. And then we're going to do the center right now, which is the dark orange on this one. And before we go, we'll drop 3 bands down into the center, which will bring up on the other side. And then we're just going to kind of do a weird starburst thing. Kind of distorted. But from this pin we're going to go out to the 5 pins around it. Like that. And the same thing over here. 3 bands dropped, and then do the starburst thing. So like that. Now you're going to want to put end caps on these pins. These I wrapped around 3 times, and it still has kind of this open center, but these bands did have a lot of stretch to them, so you kind of have to determine what you want to do for the centers. I don't think it looks bad either way. That's not the center. That, and last one. I'm doing these 3 times because these bands are pretty stretchy. So like that. And then once you're down here, we'll put that end cap on that we need right here on this corner over here. Wrap it around 2 or 3 times, however many times you want. If you want to do 2 buttons on this to close it, you would put one button here, and then you'd add the other one when we do the other half. But that's up to you. Otherwise, just an end cap. And then we are ready to loom this out. So we'll turn our loom around, and we're going to start in the center here. I'm just going to go in through your end cap, grab the top band, loom it back towards itself, and then do that for the other bands in there. Like that. And now we will go and loom out the my black bands, or the V pattern that we had here. So you go in through the end cap you created right here and loom out the V pattern. Like that. Now we'll come and do the little box pattern right here. So in through this end cap we created, and then loom those back out like that. Same thing up here. And then finally we're going to do just kind of the middle pieces here, which are my burgundy color here. So like that. And you're just going to repeat that in the other squares. Come down a little bit. So through the end cap, top band back towards itself. Then we'll do the V bands, which are my black bands. And the corner bands. And then the middle bands. Like that. And then repeat in the last one through the end cap. Then the V bands. Then the corner bands. and then the middle bands. Like that. Now what we're going to do is come back here, and we're going to actually loom up the side perimeter here. This band should be on the top of the divider bands for the square. So just go in through your end cap and that other quarter band, grab this outside perimeter band and loom that all the way up to the end. And just be careful when you're get by the dividers that you only grab that top band. So like that. And come back to the beginning, and we're going to loom over the cross bands. So go in through this corner again, grab that band, pull it over to the left, and then grab the next bottom band and pull it over. And you'll do that in each of the divider parts for the square. Same thing in the last one. Like that. So that is all of the looming we have to do for the first part. We do have a lot of open ends on this bracelet because it is the square version. So you have to be careful when we're taking apart the loom. Make sure this first row right here is pushed down as far as you can get it. And then I'm actually going to I'll take it off first. I'm just going to go and start taking off this far row. Just be watchful that it doesn't pop off this first part. So like that, I have it off. I'm going to turn this around, switch the pin bars over to the other side. Like that. And put it back together. Even pin bars. Alright, so now we're going to lay the bands for the other half. We're actually going to start with the going up the outside perimeter first before we lay the cross bands, but now we want to be able to capture it when we fold them over. So we're going to go all the way up the right side now. So make sure you have your loom in the right position so the U is pointing at you, I guess. So just go all the way up the right side. Like that. I'll come back to the beginning, and we need to lay a band so it's even with where the dividers are. So I'm just going to lay one here, go up to where the next one is. You can see with where I dropped my band, where that is, just right here. We're going to lay another band. Same thing for the next one. And this one. I'll come back and grab your hook and just pull this band up and over, the one that was laying there for the divider. Like that. And now we need to lay the corner or middle bands. I used the red or the burgundy on the other side. And we only need to lay them in this corner, in the middle, and this corner. So you go ahead and do that in the other squares. Like that. And then come back to the beginning. We're going to lay our corner bands again, the little box, I guess it is. And so like that in both corners. And just do that in the other squares. Like that. Alright, so now the V bands that we had before, we need to put the ones that are on the side here. So we can put these on first, just so we know it's there. And now the other part of the V band, we're actually just going to kind of loom that up right now. Because the other one was off this way, this one comes off this way. It only goes through this starburst end cap that we kind of created. So we're just going to go under. If you put it on this middle pin right here, go through your starburst end cap, grab the band, and then just pull it back and loom it. And we can do that because this is the first thing we loom. It doesn't interfere with the starburst bands we still have to bring up. So we can just do that. So it's done. And that's that middle pin up here, through your starburst end cap, grab it, and just loom it. And you can kind of see here, here's my other one from the other side, right here. So again, just put on that same middle pin. Turn my loom a little bit. Go in through your starburst end cap, pull it up and over, and loom it. And we just have to repeat that for the other parts here. So in through the end cap thing, grab the band, pull it up, and loom it. And now for the other side. And then the last one. Alright, so I know I skipped, I just kind of went ahead and did that. We still need to put the rest of the V in these squares too. So now I just want to, you'll check to make sure. You just have this one loom through the starburst, then you have your V, then you have it loom through the starburst here. And then just check your squares to make sure that you've got them all laid like you need to. So through the starburst, V, through the starburst, through the starburst, V, through the starburst. So then what we can do is bring up these bands that we dropped before. You just kind of want to grab like the top one, pull it to a pin, grab the next one, pull it over, and then grab the bottom one and pull it over. Just try and kind of have it in a little order so it's a little easier to loom them out. if I grab like the middle one and pull that one up, then I'm going to have them kind of twisted together. Just kind of grab the top, middle, bottom. Just pull them up to these 3 pins. Of course, then I want the bottom, middle, and top on this one, but same thing. So like that. So that's all the laying of the bands we have to do again. So we'll turn our loom around. And so now we just need to do the 3 starburst here first. So in through the end cap and loom the starburst ones out towards themselves. And you can just do that in every one. And the last one. And come back to the beginning. Now we need to do that V pattern. So in through, it's only just these 2 right here. So in through the end cap, and then loom those 2 bands out. And the same thing in the other squares. And the last one, like that. So then back to the beginning, and we're going to loom out the corner squares. So you want to go in through that end cap we created and loom these out. All the way down. That. Come back to the beginning, and then we just have the couple corner bands we have to do. Just do that in every square. Like that. So now everything should be loomed in your centers. And now what we're going to do this time is we're actually going to loom over our dividers first instead of the side. So over here now, go in here, pull up that band and loom it over to the left. Then you go up to your next divider and do the same thing. And just keep doing that. And once you have all those loomed over, you'll come back to the beginning and you'll go all the way up the left side. Like that. So that is everything loomed now. So now we can take this off the loom. So stick your hook in this open part up here and pull it off. The dividers kind of stick, so be careful you don't break your bands trying to pull too hard. going to give it a stretch. That's what we have so far. So now for extending this to make it long enough for us to actually wear without it using the single extensions, we're going to basically do the same thing we did before with the outside perimeters and things like that. So first we're going to go and we're going to drop the band, go over to the right, skip the 3 pins, drop the band, go over to the right, skip the 3 pins, drop the band, go over to the right, left. Was I saying right the whole time? Sorry, I know my directions. But then over here, go to the left, right, left, right. Alright, so once you have that, then you'll come over and do the side, left side all the way up. Okay, and then we're just going to lay the inside bands like we did before. So the corner bands, I'll kind of go through this part a little faster, I think, just because you can watch the whole thing before. It's really only adding the extension that is different on this one, and then for the next part connecting it that makes the difference. Like that. So now we can turn this around, and for extending this, a couple things. Normally you just probably want to put it on this way, and then because you're going to go this way with the other half of it, but it actually is easier if we put the open end of the bracelet onto this right pin. First we want to pop off our corner band and our V band and our box band and our other corner band, and you actually want to pop this one off for a minute too. So it's just going to be that under perimeter for right now. Okay, so once you have all these bands off, the thing is that we need this open end of our bracelet that we did to be on this pin right here. And of course when we took it out the loom before, it was on the other side. So we have to get our hook in the other way. If you have another hook to just put through there, that'd be probably the easiest, but if you don't, grabbing a pencil or something to put through your open point, just so you can hold it there for a minute to get your hook on the right side, so that you have all the bands correct there. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to take our open part and put it on this pin right here. But first, as you're doing that, you want to put this bottom band, which is part of the perimeter that comes up, sorry. I know you want to be zoomed in so you can see, but I keep going out of camera here, so, but the perimeter band that comes up the side, put that one on the loom first, and keep the rest on your hook. Then you're going to want to pull this other perimeter band up, and now you can put the rest of this onto the corner pin here. We do have to move the, some of the bands around so we can get this correct. Alright, so open end on the corner, and we switched that one band so it's under where we want it to be. And then once all this is on the corner, then you're going to need to find the centers of the next two parts here. They're not too hard to find, otherwise I probably would have clipped them myself or put a bobby pin in them. But you're just going to need to look through. It's actually through, if you can remember what I call them, the box bands and the V bands, and then the divider bands. So there's one on, and then the next one is much simpler. We'll get that one over. So once you have the centers, it's going to look like this. Still a little goofy, but, or it seems like it's goofy, but it's correct. And we actually have, there'll be two parts of the top hanging off over here. It doesn't really look like it because of the way it's kind of distorted, but they're over there because this burgundy band is my corner of my granny square. So now we need to unloom some of this, because we're actually going to eventually remove this row, because it's easiest that way because of the way this is set up. So there should be a perimeter band right on top here. You're just going to pick that up and hold it, put a hook through it so you don't lose your bracelet, and then, or hang on to it, whatever you need to do. But then you're going to want to remove, I'd use my fingers, but I'm trying to keep them out of the way here. You want to remove this border band to over here. And it's still connected right here, so you're not going to lose anything. We're going to secure this before we, or secure something over here before we move a little further, but right now we just want to remove the middle border on this pin and this pin. And you can see it's kind of hanging off over here. So we'll get that off. And you can actually go in and take that band out. Oops. It's out. There. So now you can see a little better. So we still have our border band underneath there, and now we just have a corner piece on here, We have the V in the box, and then we have another corner piece over here. Now we can bring up our other bands that we had here. And you want to bring up that corner first. Bring over the box. Bring up the V. And the box. Or not the box, the corner piece. Like that. Now don't forget, we still have a piece down here, hopefully, that you have something through or hanging on to. You can set that back on this pin for right now. We'll have to move it again when we loom, but it's not a big deal. And then over here, where we brought this one up, you actually want to pick up this other band now and get that underneath. We are going to remove this band, but it's not necessarily crucial to do it right at this moment yet because we can still take it out. But we'll get there. But otherwise everything is set up for being ready to loom this part out. So I'll pull back a little bit here. We're going to start going through our center, loom those out. I'm sorry if that connecting is a little troublesome, but there really isn't very many good ways to connect a 5-row straight across bracelet with only 3 rows and not have it be messed up or just doubling through the bands anyways. So now the V's, and then when you get to this one, it should be fine to just go over because there shouldn't be any of the looped over middle bands. So just loom that one back. Now we can do the corners. Like that. Then we have the corner bands here. Now when we do these two, we have to move this perimeter band aside. You can just hook it over on this pin over here for a second, loop this corner, and then put it back. And then do the same thing on this side. Loop this over. And with this one, I guess we could do it now. It doesn't matter a whole lot when we do it, but we need to actually just get this band off the pin however it works for you the best. And this is what I want it to look like when you're done. Sorry, here. I just pulled this top part off and I have all these bands on here. So if you go in through these bands, snag up the other end of this band that I'm holding onto right here and pull it up. Put both ends on your hook. So now I've got it trapped. I just don't want it to be in the looming of the other things. So you put a hook or a C-clip or, in my case, a bobby pin through here, because I'm just going to keep it out of the way. Because once we connect it onto the loom on the other side, right here, this band we're going to remove it anyways, and the other ones, and it's not as complicated as this side is, because we don't have as many things to worry about. And you're going to want to loom up the rest of your square here, and I'll do that real quick. Alright, so all my squares are loomed up. So now we'll come back to the beginning and we're actually going to loom up the perimeter side first. So all the way up the side. Alright. So like that. Oh, hold on. The perimeter band, I guess I have it a wrong spot. So I'll have you fix it now. But it should be pulled up and trapping all these bands here. I think my bracelet fell apart and I cut it out for editing, so I think I messed this up when I put it back on, but I just want to make sure that it's the right way for you guys. So it should be the bracelet, the already made bracelet, the filling bands, and then the top of the bracelet. This one should be underneath those, and then the base band should be on the bottom. So I'm just going to pull that up in the right spot. So it'll look like that. Now you can loom all the way up. Like that, and come back and do your border bands. Just make sure you trapped everything, which I did. Even if I didn't fix that band around that I goofed before, then you'd still be able, it still would be closed, it just would poke out. So like that, we have all the sides done. So now we can take our loom apart again and do the other side and do the connection. You're in the home stretch. The worst part is that getting this correct, and even I apparently have issues, so it was just difficult trying to find the best way to do that without having to do it kind of like my checkerboard bracelet video where I only made like half of a checkerboard at a time. I didn't want to do that because I think it deterred a lot of people from watching that one or from doing it. So I wanted to try and make as much of the bracelet as possible. But it's hard to fit 5 pin bar bracelet onto 3 when they're even pin bars. Alright, so now I'll turn my loom around. I made sure these are all down. Take my loom apart. Switch these to the other side. Make sure they're even. And then we'll go back and lay our bands again. So up the right side perimeter. And you want that band that comes across from the cross pieces, or from the drop bands if that's easier. Go back and pull these bands up. Like that. Then we want our corner pieces and our boxes. Like that. Then our V's. Like that. And then pull up the starburst. Like so. Now we'll turn our loom around and it's kind of a pull, but I think it works best if you find the corner band that you used. Like mine's the red one right here. So if I just go through there and I get that onto the corner pin over here, then it should be alright. Pop that corner off again. It should be easier to line up the other ones. And then you'll want the center of this one, which is, there's more bands there so it's kind of hard, but if you still have this band through here, band through here, it kind of helps find the center. It's not great, but just kind of I really only care about what will be my white band and the black band that flips over. So if I have all those on my hook, I can just put those on the pin and then not worry about this stuff. I'm going to take that other band out that was there before, and then I didn't even get the other band on there. So like that. You don't really need to do anything to the bands right here on this pin. This time they're trapped, or they'll be trapped how you like them, or so they're the same, I guess, not how you like them, but so they're the same. And then you will want to bring up the corner band and put it on the pin underneath this border band. So bring that back up. Put that back on top. And just let me double check here with the banding. And I would actually switch around a couple bands It's not a huge deal to do so, but if you don't want any little bands poking out, I would switch around the bottom border of the bracelet, which is this one, with the cross piece of the one we're adding. It would probably be easier to come in and just pop the cross piece off. So we pop that off, push this band down so it's next to the other band that goes up, and you take your hook and you'll want to bring the border or the cross piece back up in between there. So, like that. It's not crucial. Your bands will still all be captured even if you don't do that. But just showing you how if you want to do it, I guess. So now we'll loom out this half of it. You do need to pull this band aside on this pin when you loom out this corner piece right here. So we'll do this one first. Loom out the centers. Loom out the V's. Now loom out the boxes. Not there. And the corners, I'll start over here. So then for this corner you need to pick up this border band and then do the corner. And you can put it back on. Now loom out the other squares. So like that. Then back to the beginning, and you're going to want to loom over the dividers first. So loom that over, and the bracelet bunches up there, makes it hard to see. When you pull this band over here, you're going to want to pick up the side border band again and put this one under it, and then replace this like that. Then go up and do the other middles or divider bands. Like that. And come back to the beginning and go all the way up the side. Like that. So now everything is done looming, and we can take it off of the loom. So put our hook up here in the open end and pull this off the loom. Remember, the middles stick. Put a clip in here. Alright, so there we have it. You stretch it out a little bit to make it look good. Pretty good. I know this was a very long tutorial. I apologize for that, but I wanted to make sure that you were able to follow it. There are a lot of steps and making sure that it's correct. I think it's definitely a cute bracelet and worth the time to make it. I appreciate that you guys are wanting to have some of the multi-loom bracelets on one loom, so you give them a try. I think that's awesome. You want the challenge. It's a challenge for me to figure out how to make them for you, that's for sure. This is probably one of the more complicated ones connecting it, but I just want to say thank you. I'll have more tutorials for you soon, and hopefully some other things to do and make that you'll enjoy as well. Thanks a lot. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out my Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you send me pictures of your stuff on my Facebook and Instagram so I can see what it looks like, because that's a pretty exciting part for me to see the colors that you guys come up with, because I think that's what makes the bracelets. So thanks a lot, and I'll have more for you soon.